Hey, it's Meatball.
And Mark.
And this is the Rocker Morning Show on demand from 107.7 RKR.
Kevin, you're on with Marky Meatball.
Hey, guys.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Well, it's good to have you back on the show, man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You guys are always so fun. You know, you're full of energy. You're full of laughter and mirth.
Well, a lot of that has to do with the amount of coffee that we've drank up to this point on the show, I think.
That could be it.
We're working on an endorsement so we can get an IV of it plugged right in.
Yeah. I don't know if they offer that. But
Can you go a morning without coffee?
You know, I've done it before, but I feel like the show lacks a lot of energy when I don't have coffee, you know?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out the whole coffee thing because I started drinking about 5 years ago because it seemed like everybody loved it, you know?
Have you tried Have you tried like the mushroom substitute coffee thing?
No. I've never done shrooms. Is that what you're saying?
No. It's like it's like supposed to be coffee. It's supposed to taste like coffee, but it's made with mushrooms. Do you know about this?
No, I've never heard of this.
Yeah, apparently it's like really good for your digestive tract and stuff like that, but I've not messed with it. My mom has, but I haven't touched it yet.
And it I don't know, it lacks that kick in the ass, that that
right.
you need in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't sound that appealing, to be honest with you.
No. It's. I mean, I've had it before, but again, there's nothing better than just a good cup of Joe. And
I was gonna say, did you try the fried onion coffee yet? Delicious.
Oh, the fried onion coffee. Okay,
man.
Yeah. All right. I hear that's good with burgers in the morning.
Yeah. I throw a few pickles in there. It's amazing.
Awesome. Well, Kevin Nealon, welcome back to the Rocker Morning Show. It's a pleasure to have you back on. It's funny we were talking about coffee because we're wanting to talk about your series, Hiking with Kevin, and I was telling somebody about it, and I said, well, it's kind of like coffee. It's kind of like comedians in cars getting coffee, except there's no cars. You're climbing a mountain and you barely have water.
And there's no coffee.
Yeah. Right. There's no coffee. Was that? I mean, when you started this, was that kind of the idea, just to kind of go hiking with your friends and talk to them?
Yeah, that was basically it. I think it's a great venue to have a talk show. It's more of a kind of a casual chat show.
Yeah.
Hiking chat show. And I was actually hiking with a friend of mine. This gave me the idea, Matthew Modine, and we were so out of breath hiking up this canyon, and you could barely understand what we were asking each other.
Yeah.
And I thought this would be a funny interview right here where we're both so out of breath. Like, Matt, we first came to Los Angeles, and so I videotaped that, just holding the camera in my hand, and I posted it on Twitter, and there was a great reaction to it. So I thought this would be kind of fun to do every week with a different celebrity. So
yeah,
that's what I started doing.
I didn't realize how long you had been doing it, because I'd seen some of the episodes. Like I saw the one where you and Jack Black went looking for the Batman cave up in the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah.
Do you run into that issue, especially when you're hiking out there, in the Hollywood area, of people recognizing you and who you're with and stopping you all the time?
Not all the time. I tend to go do my hikes on the weekdays, so there's not a lot of people there.
Gotcha.
But you mentioned Jack Black. We couldn't go like 20 yards without somebody wanting to stop and get a selfie. Until we got up a little bit higher. There weren't that many people. But yeah, I did half of the hike by myself.
And you've done well over 100 episodes of this show with some of the biggest celebrities, some very close friends, some you just met. And I know it's kind of meant to be a little silly and fun, but when people are physically exerting themselves like this through exercise, do you feel like you get things out of them that any normal talk show might not get?
Oh, that's a good question, man. Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the fun things about these hikes is people are so disarmed because it's outside and there's no audience and there's no bright lights shining on them or big cameras in front of them. And it's just kind of makes them feel like they're not performing. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I get a lot of that stuff happening.
Was hiking something that you've always enjoyed doing or something that you picked up later in life?
It's something I always enjoyed doing. I used to live in Germany when I was a kid, and there's a lot of great hiking there. And I never really stopped. And Los Angeles has got all these canyons in Malibu and L.A. and, up in Santa Barbara. So there's so much great hiking here. Yeah. And it's not like I'm a serious hiker where I have like these big hiking boots and a stick. And, a lot of it's sometimes flat, and it's in the canyon. And I try to find the trails that are covered in trees, canopies, because it gets so hot sometimes.
Sure. When you're out on tour, which we want to talk about some of your dates coming up here just a little bit in Michigan, do you go hiking? Like, could you do this show in other places and go hiking in these other places too? Have you done that?
Oh, yeah, I have done it. In fact, I typically bring some of my camera stuff with me in case I run into somebody, or just maybe do a promo from that area. Yeah. Like I was in Bavaria a couple weeks ago, and there's a castle called Neuschwanstein Castle. So it's like the castle that Walt Disney replicated for Disneyland.
Okay.
So I did a little tour, a little promo around there, just kind of walking and hiking and doing a little promo for the upcoming season. But yeah, definitely, I take that camera with me most places.
Fantastic. Well, we're talking with Kevin Nealon, known for his time on SNL and a number of other things. You are doing a U.S. tour right now with your stand-up, and you have dates actually this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in Royal Oak in Michigan, right? Is it the Comedy Castle?
That's right, Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle. And, it's not just, I started the tour off in France. I did stand-up comedy in a few dates in France and then a bunch of dates in London. And now I'm kind of continuing with the U.S. part.
Okay. Now, in your experience, your time in Michigan, and I think actually last time we talked to you, you were going to be out in Michigan as well doing shows. Do you find that the comedy scene has changed quite a bit since this TikTok trend of like people posting their crowd work?
It's interesting. I've been doing this quite a while, so I've seen change a lot over the years. Of course, now with TikTok and social media, people are doing their crowd work because they don't want to give away their actual material.
Right.
They're saving it for whatever. But this whole crowd work kind of trend is interesting. I mean, I do it myself sometimes too, but I think there's some specials that's just all crowd work.
Yeah, for sure. Have you noticed like an uptick in hecklers or people trying to be a part of the show now because of this?
No, not really. I think people are more familiar with stand-up now. There used to be a time when it was such a novelty, and most people had never been to a comedy club before or had seen a brick wall. So I think people kind of are a little more used to the rules now, and they kind of frighten them in the beginning, too. They'll be thrown out if there's any heckling.
Sure.
Yeah, and also it's changed in the way that people worried about getting canceled.
Oh yeah,
the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Well, the last time we talked, you were releasing the book I Exaggerate, Brushes with Fame. You're a renowned and incredible caricature artist, such a great storyteller too. Are you still doing the caricature drawings? Like, could we see a Hiking with Kevin edition of this book at some point?
That's a good idea. I'm working on one now. I'm collecting a bunch of caricatures I'm doing. So, and this book is done really well. I Exaggerate, My Brushes with Fame. And, so there's a caricature that I've done of a celebrity. It could be a friend of mine like Chris Farley or whoever. And on the opposite page is a little anecdote of my experience with that person.
That's cool.
Yeah. I think you could get some flattering stuff if you did caricatures of the hike, with some of these people.
What your favorite celebrities look like, completely blown up, like exhausted.
Yeah. Oh, well, again, the book is I Exaggerate, Brushes with Fame. That is out now. New season of Hiking with Kevin, dropping episodes weekly starting back up November 21st. And again, you have dates at Royal Oak this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You can get tickets now, kevinnealon.com. It's always great to talk with you. Glad to have you back on the show again. And enjoy your time in Michigan this week, man.
Thanks, man. I'm really looking forward to it. I always love those crowds there.
Thanks, awesome. Kevin. Appreciate you, man.
Take care, man.